Newsnight's inquiry into Jimmy Savile last year started a chain of events that was to prove eventually disastrous for the BBC. It led to one of the worst management crises in the BBC's history and contributed to further chaos that led eventually to the resignation of the Director General a few weeks later over the McAlpine affair. The report I was asked to compile describes the events surrounding the cancellation of the original Newsnight story, the broadcast of Christmas tribute programmes about Jimmy Savile, and the subsequent revelation in an ITV documentary of the very story that Newsnight had been researching. It also looks at the response by the BBC and its failure to explain properly what had actually happened. The Newsnight investigators got the story right. They had found clear and compelling evidence that Jimmy Savile was a paedophile. The decision by their editor to drop the original investigation was clearly flawed, and the way it was taken was wrong, though I believe it was done in good faith. It was not done to protect the Savile tribute programmes or for any improper reason. The Newsnight editor's most serious mistake was that he didn't look properly at the evidence before deciding to drop the story. It's not surprising, therefore, that he didn't understand the evidence that he had, and that was to cause enormous confusion in the months to come. Another very serious error was made by the editor's line manager, who, for reasons that he couldn't explain, removed any mention of the Savile investigation from what's called the Managed Risk Programmes list, the BBC's list of potentially risky stories. This had the effect of denying the BBC at least the theoretical possibility that it could have discussed the implications of the Savile story for the wider corporation. My review also found that there was some knowledge within the BBC Vision department, the division making the Savile tribute programmes, about what was referred to in emails as the darker side of Jimmy Savile at the time those programmes were commissioned. That appears to have meant generic concerns rather than actual specific issues about paedophilia. But that knowledge and the removal of the story from the risk list could be regarded as missed opportunities for the BBC to avoid the major problems that followed.